How y'all doing out there in YouTube land? This Stiletto coming at you from the Wild Wild West. Well, today we got a video. I was going to do an unboxing on this one, but I had a blooper, so you guys missed the unboxing. On my Esee 6 with the 3D handle scales. So we're just going to go ahead and get into this video. And this video is about the bushcrafting knives I got for bushcrafting recently. And hopefully I'll be able to get out there and try them out this weekend. But I had to do something with my pig hunter. I had to do something. You can sort of guess what's going on here. This is my new sheath from Esee the Sheathmaker8 on eBay. That's my new sheath from him with the fire steel. And this, the Esee 6, already went ahead and put it together. There's my Esee 6. It has natural canvas micarta handles. They're 3D. Super comfortable knife. This knife feels, it's like the Becker BK9. It's got a super comfortable handle. Now, I love this sheath. The sheath works just fine for me. I went ahead and put the clip on, what do you call it, the belt clip on the sheath. This is what comes. This way it comes from Esee. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. And as you all know, my BK9. I love this. I love the way this handle feels. This is a really nice handle. And Esee the Sheathmaker8 made this rig for me also. And my other one, my small knife, I'm going to use my EK50. EK50. All these knives are $10.95. These two are from K-Bar, and they're $10.95 CV, chromium vanadium steel. These two are $10.95 HC, high carbon steel. Well, let me show you what it did to my pig hunter. As you can see, the scales are off of it. My what do you call it? Canvas micarta scales. And there it is. Yes, I stripped it. Why? I didn't really care for the finish on it. I know a lot of people really like the finish. It just wasn't doing it for me, so I stripped it. And the reason why I'm showing it to you guys like this, not only that you can see it's fully been stripped, and polished and resharpened. You put an edge on it with the work sharp. And then I did a little bit of freehand sharpening too, because the work sharp didn't get as sharp as I wanted it to get. So I did some freehand sharpening on my white Arkansas stones. I did all the main polishing at 20 degrees. Sharpening at 20 degrees on the work sharp. Let me wipe the blade off a little bit. But one thing I want to ask you all is, do you all know about finishing raw 1095 HC steel? I know I can't leave it like this unless I want to deal with rust all the time. And so I was trying to think about how I want to finish it. Because I sort of want to make it black. And I was thinking about getting it DLC coated, because there's a company in my area that does coatings on metals. And they do DLC coating. And I was thinking about getting a DLC coated. But, excuse me. Hey, Juju. What's up, sweetie? But I know DLC coating, though, if I want to take it off, is really hard to get off. So I was thinking maybe I should get Cerakoted. Does anybody have any suggestions? And what I do have that I can do myself is I have bluing, gun bluing. I have that in my garage. You know, use it on handguns and stuff like that, and shotguns. If I mess them up or whatever, I could re-blue things. But I don't know if bluing would be a big enough rust inhibitor for a 1095 HC steel. I know it works on guns, so it makes me sort of think that it would work on this. But I also know that bluing will rust. You know, if you don't you know, pay attention to it and stuff like that, and keep things oiled and cleaned and stuff like that and dry. But this is what they look like when you take the finish off of them. I absolutely love it. I sort of wish I could leave it like this, but it sort of defeats my purpose of being, you know, an apocalypse knife, or if the SH, no, it was an ITSHTF or something like that. I don't know. If the shit hits the fan, okay? Type knife. Because I sort of feel like it needs to be, you know, not shiny. And right now it's shiny because I polished it, you know, went through all my sanding and, you know, and all that kind of stuff. I went up to 2000 grit sandpaper. But, you know, like this, it fits in the sheath really nice. I mean, it's like, goes in like super smooth. I don't know, I like the way it looks polished. But I know I need to coat it with something. If y'all have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Because I'm not too, you know, I've always polished like stainless steels and things like that for my pocket knives, and aluminum and chrome and things like that. But I've never done like raw steel and then left it raw steel, you know. So, you know, I've done raw steel, like motorcycle parts that are supposed to be black, and then I painted them black. The paint, you know, primered and painted them or whatever. And but I never did something like a knife. This is the first time I've done a knife. And I know if I'm getting into bushcrafting, I know all this stuff is going to get all scraped up and scarred up, but that's okay. That's okay because I like the coatings on these. But I also thought that this would be good for, you know, fire, you know, starting fires too with the fire steel, because it doesn't have any coating on it anymore. But I sort of want to do this video just sort of like to ask y'all that question. But that's that one. This is the new one. I absolutely love the SE6. The SE6, I can see why everybody likes this knife so much. It is a beautiful knife when you get it in hand. To me, you know, like when I was looking at the SEs on, you know, websites and stuff, and they all have like pretty much the same blade shape, it sort of looks kind of generic. The blade shape looks sort of generic, but I know it's a very useful blade shape. You can use it for all sorts of stuff, you know, hunting, fishing, woodcrafting, you know, whatever. You know, so it's a great outdoors knife blade shape. And with the finger groove in the front, in the what do you call it, the thumb rest, or this part right here, it feels really comfortable in hand, like this. So it's really good for choking up on. I know it's going to be good for doing like, you know, like feather sticking and stuff like that. And it's a tough blade too. It's just as thick as the BK9. They both look like they're about 5 millimeters thick. Let's measure them out. Hope everybody's doing good out there. Today is June 8th. Wednesday, June 8th. Hump day. Get zeroed out. Okay, let's see what this one is. I'm guessing it's going to be 5 millimeters. It looks like 5 millimeters to me. Because I know the BK9 is 5 millimeters. It looks like it's the same thickness. 5 millimeters. Okay, let me see if the tang is 5 millimeters. Yep, 4.98. That's the same thing, 5 millimeters. Let's see how thick it is up here. 4.4 millimeters in the tip. 1.78 millimeters, almost 2 millimeters at the tip. Awesome knife. And like I said, with the I never had one with the flat handles, but this one with the 3D handles, this is super comfortable. I would recommend all the Esees with these type of handles, because if this one's as comfortable as it is, I'm sure all the others are very comfortable too. I don't plan on getting a bunch of Esees or anything like that. I just want a few wood crafting knives, so I can have them as my actual real survival knives in case something happens in the world. And I need to have survival knives. And that's the whole purpose and the whole theory and everything else, the mission behind all these knives, is to be my real bush crafting and survival knives. I have a couple more knives that are in the safe right now, but that I want to try out too. They have the 3V blades from Italy by Cold Steel, the AK-47 field knife, and what's the other one? Oh, the Warcraft. And both of them have like 5 inch and 5.5 inch blades or something like that. They're not the big knives, they're the smaller ones. So they would basically be competing against this one. This one has, I believe, a 6-inch blade. No, it's actually 6.5 inches. If you go all the way to the handle, the cutting edge is like 6 inches. This one is 5 inches, I think, if I remember right. 5 inches all the way to the handle, but the actual cutting edge is 4.5 inches. This one I love the Wild Pig Hunter. And I don't know, whenever I put a lot of effort into a blade, like all the effort I put in this one, it took me about a day to, not a day, but like when I got off work yesterday, after I got done making a video, I started working on this one. And it took me, I don't know, maybe about 2 or 3 hours to get like this. It was really hard to get that coating off. The coating did not come off easy. And I used Jasco. No, first I used, I used Jasco. Jasco was what I used. Because I used another paint thinner that I had, and that one didn't work at all. And then I went and got some Jasco, because Chris on Prepare My 101, he said that's what you use. And I used that, and that didn't really work either. So I don't know what kind of coating that they put on these, but it's not like paint. It's more like a, I don't know, like an acid wash or something that's like in the steel. And it had to be sanded out. 7.5 inches for cutting edge, and to the guard, it's 8 inches. This one I got to be a fighter. I didn't really get this one to be a bushcrafter. This is the one I plan on being my fighter, if the blank hits the fan. But I also see another knife I want to get too, though, that it might become my fighter too. It's called the Sensei, and it's a Russian knife from Kizlyar. That one looks pretty bad too, because I think that had a real long blade. I want to say it was like 10 inches or something like that. Maybe 12 inches, I can't remember. I was thinking about getting that one too. They have it on Amazon. This one is 9 1/4 to the handle, and the cutting edge is 9 1/8. Looks like. These are all awesome knives. And this one, I love the way it looks right now, but I know I need to get it coated. I'm not going to leave it raw like that. Right now, I buffed oil into it. I buffed Militech 1 into it, and so I hope that protects it for a little bit. But I know this is 1095 HC. It's not even CV. CV, has a little bit more rust resistance than regular 1095 HC. 1095 HC is the one that was known for getting rusty really quick, and I did have experience with my Pops' K-bar. That one wasn't a CV K-bar. It was the original one that made out, I think, 1095 HC. And that knife used to rust super easily. You had to always keep, and I used to just use like Brillo pads and stuff on it. Oops, I'm putting it in the wrong sheet. I absolutely love this one. This one might become my favorite, you know, for like a wood crafting knife because it's not too heavy. I know this one's going to be the king. This is going to be the king for chopping. This one feels like it can chop the mess out of some wood. You know, it'd be the best one for batoning and all that kind of stuff. But this one, it feels like it's a good all-round knife. It's like a jack of all trades type knife. It'd be, you know, easy to carry. You know, if you're only carrying one, you know, knife on your hip or whatever, you know, this would be easy to carry. And you could actually probably use this as a hunting knife. It'd be a little bit on the big side for a hunting knife, though, for me. I tend to like smaller knives for hunting knives. But it looks like it'd be a good, you know, and if it had to be a hunting knife, it could be a hunting knife. It looks like it'd be a great combat knife, you know, for a soldier. Because it looks like it could handle just about anything. It's got like a nice, strong, full tang. And this handle is awesome. The handle is... The only other handle I think is more comfortable out of all these knives I picked is this one. The BK handle is like the king of handles. And it's my understanding that they use the same handle on all the BK lines for you know, for like the BK7, which is like another one that Chris really likes. He likes the BK7 and BK9. Those are his two favorites from the Becker line. From what, you know, the videos I always see him doing. But I don't know, I didn't want the BK7. I like the BK9. I wanted the BK9 to be my big knife. And at first I was just going to have this one be my you know, the backup to the BK9. But I decided I wanted something a little bit bigger. More like a, you know, like a soldier's knife size. To me, a soldier knife size is like, as you all know, is in between 6 and 9 inches. And this is like, you know, qualified perfectly. And then when I saw the finger groove on this one, you know, because it was in between, you know, it was between this one and the SE5 that I was going to get. And the SE5 has the 1/4 inch blade stock, which is like a real thick blade stock. But I sort of like the little bit thinner. I like the 5mm blade stock on a knife that's this wide. That's a full flat ground blade. You know, will probably cut very nicely. I haven't used it yet, but you know, I know from my my holdouts, I like to use those a lot for, you know, like butchering meat and stuff like that. And the holdouts have a 4mm blade, or 3.8mm to be exact, or something like that. I call it 4mm. I just round it off to 4mm when it gets that close. 4mm blade that's fairly wide, and it's a full flat ground, and that thing slices like a champ. It slices better than any of my kitchen knives. That's the reason why I use it all the time. I'm like cutting up ribs or chickens or something like that. You know, a whole chicken, making pieces of chicken. I like that, or cutting up the ribs. You know, taking a slab of ribs and then cutting them up so I can put them on the barbecue pit. That's what I always like to use. And I usually don't like to use folding knives for stuff like that. But the holdout is an awesome kitchen knife. I would definitely take, you know, if the blank hits the fan, I would definitely take a extra large holdout, not the small one. I would take the big one, the extra large holdout, because that's a good food prep knife. And it's a folding knife, and you can put it in your backpack or whatever, your bug out bag, and hide away real easily. It's not too heavy. And that would definitely be my my folding chef's knife that I would take with me. And that's the purpose I would use it for. I wouldn't use it for self-defense necessarily, because I'd have my fixed blades. But I'd have that one as a food prep knife. I absolutely love this Esee. I don't know. I got to get out there and check them out. I have a funny feeling this is going to be my favorite. It's going to be between these two. This one is sort of like just a backup knife, and a knife that I could use for doing smaller things. This one would actually make a better hunting knife because of the size of it. This is a good size for a hunting knife. That knife that my pops used to always use was a Schrade sharp finger, and it had like a 3.5 inch blade. And he used to dress deer and everything like that, you know, when we went hunting all the time. And he used to use that for everything, you know, cleaning doves and all sorts of stuff. And I think it had a 1095 blade. That's the ones that my mom gave to my cousins. I replaced it with one, and the one I replaced it with was a USA made one. It was like the one of the last ones that Schrade made before they sold out their company to China. But it's a stainless steel blade, so it's not like exactly like my pops had. And I'm sure it's like a 420 HC. It's probably like a buck knife stainless steel. It's probably not like a high grade stainless steel or anything. But, you know, I'm sure it's a very well made knife though, because it's a Schrade. And I replaced that one because Lucky turned me on to that they're making USA made 1095, I think it's 1095 HC. It might be a CV or it's HC, one or the other. Schrade is, and they're made in the United States. So I know it's probably the company still owns the, you know, old Schrade, you know, in China or whatever, but I don't know, maybe they're starting a division in the United States or something, I don't know, but I went on Amazon, I found one on Amazon for $66 and I ordered it. Because I had to have it because it was a 1095 one and it looked just like the one my pops had. The sheath looks a little bit different, but I had to have it for my collection, you know, for my pops collection. You know how I do. But I absolutely love these. Just lay them all out. There they are. Let's put the handles back on this one. I want you all to let me know, though, you know, what you think about, you know, as far as like what type of. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on the handle just to protect it. Don't worry about rusting. Got a little bit of oil underneath the scales. I need to wipe my hands off. Yeah. Okay. Get the first one started. I really love this Tops knife. Makes me want to check out more Tops knives. There's one that I want to sort of check out that looks like a zombie apocalypse knife. I think they call it a sword or something like that. It's really long, and it sort of has like the the end of it sort of looks like a kukri, sort of. It's kind of weird looking. Now, that one looks interesting to me because it looks like it'd be a machete and everything else besides a survival knife. And I saw a demonstration with it, and a guy was chopping down trees with it. After taking this one apart, I noticed that these handles aren't hollowed out. Like on my Becker, it has a hollowed out handle. What I mean by that is that the middle of it is like hollowed out to save weight, I guess. I assume that's the reason why they're doing it. There's that one together. So I want to dye these scales black. If I make the blade black, I sort of want to make the entire knife black. You know me, I like things that look tactical, especially for like fighters. And that's what this one is to me. It's like a fighter. It's a big fighter. To me, it sort of looks like a I don't know if you guys are aware of them, but in history, during the Civil War, there was a knife called the Arkansas toothpick. And it was like a big dagger. That's what this sort of looks like to me. Sort of looks like the Arkansas toothpick. I think that's one of the reasons why I like it so much, because I like historical things. And it was a common knife amongst the Confederate soldiers, not the Union soldiers. I sort of wish I could leave it like this, but I don't know how to leave it like this without it being able to rust real easy. I don't mind patina, I don't like rust. I don't want to get rust pits in it and stuff like that. Right now, to me, it looks beautiful. You know me, I like shiny things. You know how I am. But that's about all I got to show you guys for right now. I'm gonna do some I got 2 more videos to do on Lucky's knives. I got 2 more knives that Lucky has that loaned me to do videos on. I'm gonna do videos on those. I don't really have any more new knives for me yet. And well, when the charade comes in, when the sharp finger comes in, I'll do a video on that one. Oh, one other thing. I ordered the Russian knife too. I ordered the Russian Phoenix I. But supposedly it won't be here for like another month. I don't know if it's coming from Russia or whatever, but it was on Amazon. I saw it on Amazon, in the Phoenix I. And it has black micarta handle scales and the Y8 blade, which is like it's a high carbon steel. It's like a 1070. And that's the one I saw being demonstrated on YouTube by, I don't know if it was a Russian person or whatever, but they were doing like trying to do destruction sort of stuff with it, and the knife hung in there. The knife didn't never give up. It was a super bad blade, and that's the reason why I went and got the Phoenix II, because I couldn't find the Phoenix I. And so now I found the Phoenix I, but I'm gonna have to wait on it before it gets here. I like Kydex. Kydex makes some awesome blades. That's why I sort of want to get the Sensei. The Sensei is made out of D2, I think it was. And they had another knife that looked interesting too, that looked like a big Bowie blade, and it's called the Bastardo. The Bastardo, like the word B, like the word, okay, without the O. You gotta be careful nowadays about saying curse words on YouTube. But the Bastardo, I love the name of it. It looks like a big Bowie blade and without guards on it. Without, the big finger, guards or whatever. It looks more like what they say the Bowie blade actually was, because they said I've heard lots of stories that the Bowie blade didn't even have guards. Sort of looked like a big kitchen knife. And it's fairly thick too. I think it's like 5 millimeters thick. And it had like a 9-inch blade or 8 point something, almost 9-inch blade. And it's made out of Stiletto steel. The same kind of steel that the Italians use, you know, for the SR-11s, which is supposed to be like a high-end, supposed to be like an improvement on regular D2. It's a premium D2 steel. That's what I would call it. Absolutely love this, so. Feels good in hand too. The balance on this one is right at the guard pretty much. I'm trying to get this, there you go. So it's got really good balance. I think the reason why the balance is so good because the handle's not hollowed out. I think the handle was hollowed out, then it'd be too, you know, front end heavy, too blade heavy. But this one has, it sort of feels like the Bagwell Bowie that I have. You know, it's really thick, but this one's not as thick as the Bagwell Bowie. The blade stock's not as thick. But I think this one's probably tougher though because it's got a fully exposed blade tang. I think this is an awesome knife for a fighting knife. I know it's a pig hunter, but actually the original purpose of these were for Russian Special Forces. This is what Russian Special Forces get. They get the Phoenix 1. And this would be tougher than the Phoenix, I think, because it has a saber ground blade instead of a hollowed out blade. Hollow ground blade. But that's about the only difference in this one, because the Phoenix I think is a little bit longer. It's like a 1/4 inch longer the blade is. And the handle on the Phoenix looks nicer too because it's a contoured. It's like a handle like this, made of black canvas micarta, I think it is, or it might be linen micarta. It's a really nice looking handle, and it has a leather sheath. Well, this one has a leather sheath too. I absolutely love this one. I think this is going to become one of my favorite knives, favorite fixed blades. Because y'all know I love my cold steel fixed blades, but something about this just looks sinister. I think it's because, you know, I like the way Tontos look too. Tontos look, you know, menacing and sinister to me too. You know, because as soon as you see a Tonto, you know it's a fighting knife. You know, that's the purpose of it. You can still slightly see the markings on it. USA on this side, and Wild Pig Hunter on this side, and then the Tops logo. But now you can really see how reinforced that tip is. Beautiful blade. Beautiful blade, people. And the sheath works perfectly with this. We gotta take out the fire stick. My fire stick holder is actually made for something that's a fire stick that's bigger than the fire stick that I have. No rattle at all. Excellent sheath. Excellent sheath. I mean, put the fire stick in it though because it's made for a thicker fire stick. Then you get a little bit of rattle. The rattle here is the fire stick bouncing around in here. Absolutely love it. If I had a way though to keep it like this without putting a serious coating on it, I think I would just rather keep it unfinished. I sort of like it like this. I just worry about rust because I don't like rust. I'm not a big fan of rust. I don't mind patina and maybe some stains or something like that. I don't like when rust starts pitting the blade and putting little holes in the blade or whatever. That gets under my skin. So, you know, usually when I get carbon steel blades, I always want them to be coated. It just helps protect them against rust. And you don't have to show them so much attention too. Because like this, whenever you use it, you would have to make sure it's clean and dry and oiled to keep the rust off of it. Speaking of oil, I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on it right now. Awesome blade. Awesome blades. And this one, I keep saying it over and over again, but I really love this one. I'm gonna leave the coating on. I know everybody takes this coating off and off the Beckies and the Beckers and the EK, you know, and this one. I like the black coating. And if I need to use the ferro rod, I think I'll use this knife that doesn't have the coating on it. I think that would be the one I use for that. But there they are, people. These are my these are the ones I really got for the serious purpose of being my, if the blank hits the fan. Blank hits the fan knives. There they are. And I gotta say, I keep pulling this one out because I like looking at it. I think it's super badass. It's an awesome blade. Highly recommend it. Haven't tried it out yet, but I've seen a lot of videos on it, so I know it's a good knife. I don't really need to test it to find that out. I already know it's a good knife. Awesome knife. All right, people. That's all I got for you today. Peace out, Stiletto.